Today marks a very special day. I have finally completed every single movie boss's red zone mission. And the final thing that we have to do, and today I'm showing you that, is the 8-turn mission. When I showcased Hachiak, I was like, man, this could be doable. And it was. I've done it, which is great. We are running the Terrifying Conquerors team. And we are abusing the heck out of the giant form transformation. So I'm going to quickly run down through the team as we go through the first phase of BROLY, where triple super attack from Vegeta is real nice. We have the Int Metal Cooler as the leader. We have Super Strike Vegeta as one of the units. I think he's actually really good, especially for turn missions, and you can use Whis, because he just does a lot of damage. You put like crits on him, he's doing triple super crits. And if you get a decent amount of orbs, he can stack up quite nicely. Even better, if you can fit a Super Strike unit with him. Oh my god, his attack stack goes bazonkers. Hachiak, of course, but inversing Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans, you get that giant transformation, which could avoid a super attack as well. And he has good links with Ma Jr., which is our friend leader right here. Took me a few days to get the run that I needed, because what you kind of want to do is make sure you beat BROLY all the way to the AGL phase without getting rid of Piccolo Jr.'s intro. So having him on turn 2 is the most realistic thing you want to do. Because he's stunned here, it doesn't really matter, in all honesty, where you put the Piccolo, because he's got 1 bar left. So I thought I would put him in the first slot, just so maybe we get an additional super attack here, and then he can stack up. Just one little free stack is always good. And he just does a normal. Does he do an additional? No. So, it doesn't really matter. Regardless, we would kill here because of the LRs that we have, which is DKP, as well as LR Dr. Willow. For the STR phases, Super Strike Vegeta and Dr. Willow are super good. So, the next turn here, where we're versing the Tech BROLY, we risk it by floating out DKP. DKP is the best linking partner for our Ma Jr., which means we have to float him out because we didn't have him next to Piccolo Jr. And that means Vegeta has to take some tech hits, which actually do quite a lot of damage to him. Especially if you don't have that many good orbs on him. And he doesn't really have that many good linking partners. But Metal Cooler here is really nice to have on this rotation because he raises allies' attacks for 2 turns. Which is very nice for the off-rotation units. So Piccolo Jr. will do a lot of damage. The Vegeta wants to do an extra super attack, which is all good for us. 65,000. This is good though, because if you guys don't remember about Piccolo Jr. on the 1st turn onwards, if you're under 60% HP, you will get the giant transformation. And this is ideally where you want the giant transformation, because you can kill the Tech BROLY within the, I guess, 2 to 3 with the giant form, then it doesn't count as a turn. And then you have Piccolo Jr. again on the STR phase, and then that means by the time you probably kill the STR BROLY, Piccolo will be on his final turn of the buff. So I'm going to skip a lot of this of giant form just to save you a bunch of time. This will be the final hit for the BROLY, because we do take him out here. Hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. I just still need to do the Omega Shenron one. That one's a little bit difficult because you can't abuse Hachiak's giant transformation. So we did Whis up because the giant transformation does not counteract this turn's BROLY as much as I would like to. And I want to save the Hachiak transformation for a different turn, because it's not really needed for this phase right here. You just get lucky with Piccolo Jr.'s super attacks, then you're all good. It's weird though, is I don't find a lot of Piccolo Jr.'s 100%ed in Red Zone BROLY. I guess a lot of people don't use them here. It's always like 1 dupe, and if I'm really, really lucky, I find maybe a 2 dupe one once per day, which is very annoying. So obviously you want at least 2 dupes to get max chance on criticals and additionals. He does his triple super attack, which is really nice. Not enough to kill, but we do have a full AGL rotation on the next turn. and then BROLY super attacks. Hachiyak has 40% damage reduction already, so it's double digits. Piccolo Jr. post super. Only DKP takes a little bit just because he hasn't raised his defense yet. Even though I would say he should have been able to tank that double digits. Gets a nice little crit just to guarantee. And then I actually keep the AGL units on board. Because I guess Metal Cooler is probably the weakest defensively with a Whis. I'd rather keep Vegeta for some free damage. If it was possible, I would have definitely 18 keys supered with Metal Cooler. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And Vegeta only has to take one normal attack, which is fine. And then he can, like, do multiple super attacks to kill. Unfortunately, he leaves on 1 HP. So I guess if BROLY did AoE, would take, like, 200,000 on this turn. But luckily, he didn't. And then Dr. Willow got the kill. And now it's on to the last phase. Now, remember, we have 8 turns to do this. And we're only on the 6th turn. So that is really good. I use Hachiyak because obviously if you can avoid super attacks potentially with the giant form. Because we have type advantage, you know, it's really nice free damage compared to versing a type neutral. Because Hachiyak's not the strongest giant form ever. Especially I only have a 1 dupe as well. It's really nice to have him duped out because if you can put crits on him in additionals, and he will help the team tremendously. Like, additionals will help your other allies, and then criticals will help his giant form. So we did take 1 super there. It's only like 2.7, but because it's type advantage, it's still super valuable on the attacks. Like 2 million, that's pretty decent chunk. It's just really hard to get the 18 key super. I feel like he should have maybe, instead of orb changing, maybe got like 3 key per orb or something. It's actually quite difficult to 18 key super attack with him. So with that giant form transformation, we did get almost a bar damage out of him. Now I put Piccolo Jr. in the first slot, because he does, I feel like, do more damage in the first slot than the second slot if you can take the hit. Although, I feel like maybe also in the second slot you get big bad bosses with Hachiyak, but I went with this. We did take the hits here. Whis is still active, by the way. But then BROLY super attack. I was confused for a second, but because BROLY didn't do a double super on the giant form, it meant that he still had a potential super in him. Did 464,000 damage. We were so close to dying. I was like, oh yeah, this is so over. That's in my head, I'm thinking this is over already. Piccolo goes on a rampage, 10 million attack stat. What I should have done was put Hachiyak in the first slot, but I just put Piccolo in the first slot here. He did get a triple super attack, so I'm pretty grateful for that. So that did about an extra 3 bars of damage. Cool thing about dropping this low of HP, it does activate a few things for this team. Obviously, we haven't used Piccolo's active skill. And we haven't used Dr. Wheeler's active skill, which activates under 40% HP. Or 50%, I forgot. But under 40%, he gets a guaranteed critical with his active skill, which is really good. So all we had to do was hopefully not take any more super attacks, and then we win. Or if we take a super attack, it has to be on DKP. We use Dr. Wheeler's active skill in the middle slot for the most amount of links, so we can get the most amount of damage. And that does 3 million, which means we are pretty much halfway on killing BROLY here. And because DKP has already transformed, we technically don't need the 5 orbs. But more orbs, the better for damage. Get the greens, just for a little bit of heal back. And I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to get Vegeta the most amount of orbs. And of course, we got to consider the Dokkan mode coming up next turn. We got enough colored orbs where if we get the right orbs next turn, we should be able to get a Dokkan mode as well. Which is very clutch, especially for Piccolo, who doesn't have his intro buff. for the next turn. So BROLY does super attack here with DKP's damage reduction and his raised defense. He tanks this no problem. He tanks really well, actually, even without a Whis on this stage. Still a very well-aged character. Just other typings, it gets a little scary. Although BROLY is not, compared to like the newer Red Zone, BROLY is actually not that strong. It's just his AoE phase is just super annoying. And no supers yet. Any supers on our AGL would be Dunzo. The Vegeta gets a double super. And then a normal attack. And luckily, he did not take a super attack. And then we have Piccolo Jr.'s stuff. I just realized there, he's not even linked level 10, which was super annoying. You know, the guy is like a few months old now, and we still don't have him level 10 linked. Active skill in the second slot for the most amount of damage on his active skill. Because you have big bad bosses, and you have all the Dragon Ball links. And we were going to move him into the first slot anyway. Regardless, because we are going to be getting that Dokkan mode. Luckily, we did have all the orbs right. So we got the purple, the green, and then the purples once again. And we know that BROLY's not going to attack that first slot. With 200,000, I think Piccolo can tank post-super. I'm not too sure, though. If, you know, BROLY doesn't die here. It is a 9 million attack stat turn. Dokkan mode loses all the defense of this BROLY. He only has 2 bars left. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is done. We got this in the bag. 1 Dokkan mode should be enough to get this job done. And it does with 11 million damage. And that is BROLY done in 8 turns with a free-to-play team. It's crazy that we've done it. We have done it. I thought it would take a lot longer, actually, to get it done. I could have done this way earlier, in all honesty. But, yeah, the recent buffs to our Extreme AGL made this definitely more doable. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one.